Hello and welcome to Bull and Bear Cryptocurrency Analysis News and Education. My name is James Gore and this video is for the 22nd of July 2018. We're going to be jumping into our market update today, the tech calls on the big three and a bunch of other coins as well, not just the ones you voted on, just because it is Sunday. We can really dig deep, not too much news today, and then we're going to dig into the comments from the last video. So first things first, total market cap hasn't really shifted too much. It's at 281 billion USD with a lower trading volume at 11 billion US dollars. Obviously lower trading volume due to the fact of being the weekend. That being said, Bitcoin's almost at 45.2%, which is nice to see it holding strong. If we quickly check coin market cap and scroll through, you can see the majority of coins are seeing a bit of gain in valuation, seeing mostly single digit gains. If we take a quick look at the biggest gains, Bitcoin Diamonds, they were 58% from the top 100, followed by 0x, 11%, and then Nulls, 10%. Biggest loss right now is Doge with 1.69%, followed by PundyX, and we only have, say, 10 coins are really seeing any true downside, nothing too crazy. So just quickly returning to the charts on Coinbase, just to take a look at some expectations, things moving forward, and we can see yesterday, if you remember, I said we're likely to be range trading between 7,584 US dollars to 7,200, and exactly what's happened. And it's purely based on this fib retracement. Right here, we're actually just touching and bouncing off the first fib level, and we can see we have a nice reversal hammer and an indecision doji currently formed on the charts right now. And interestingly enough, obviously today's candle hasn't closed just yet, but I was watching this morning. I've actually been up all night, haven't gone to bed because I've been working on the channel. But it was a very strong bump in price action in a very short period of time, but it did not too much volatility. So it essentially opened, broke low, and then price drove up, and now it's returned back to kind of an indecision neutral candle. So obviously this candle hasn't closed yet today, and depending on how this candle closes, if this is neutral in the neutral candle like so, like we can see on the charts here, that would be basically telling us that we need to watch till tomorrow. But truth be told, guys, we're essentially in an accumulation phase before what will probably be the last move up towards the next level, which could either be the 7,900 USD mark, or even further up to the 8,000 USD, depending on how strong of a move this is. But we have decreasing volume overall. Drilling a bit deeper into the hourly time frame as well, just to get a bit more information with regards to volume. The volume is not too crazy either way. We have, generally speaking, more bull volume than bear, but the consolidation we're seeing as well is extremely healthy. Very, very healthy consolidation. Typically what we'd like to see in multiple time frames. Currently looking at the hourly time frame, of course, but you can see we're currently riding the 150, 12, and 26 moving average. We've broken below, but been closing above for quite some time. And again, it's sideways flat trading. Not too much price volatility. It's not exactly what we'd want anyway. But if we look at the RSI, it's cooling off. It's just generally cooling off. And we can see this playing out in other time frames. So if we go to the 2-hour time frame, we can see similar story. See RSI is cooling off. We go to the 4-hour time frame, bit of a similar story as well. Again, we can see RSI is cooling off from being completely overbought. So I guess the real time frame to kind of watch would be the 4-hour time frame, just to see with regards to the RSI how far it can cool off, and then seeing that translate over to the daily today, because what we're likely to see is not too much of a crazy move and just more slow consolidation, slow cool off with the RSI. Even if we see a bit of an uptick, and if we check out the histogram as well, it's trading relatively flat. So that's it for BTC. Expect a move coming up. High probability of a move to the upside pretty soon. Moving on to Ethereum FUSD, and we can see that it's a bit of a different story. We can see here that we have increasing bear volume on this move down. We have double tweezer top, which we said we're playing out. Then a bit of a, not quite a double tweezer right here, not a trend reversal right here, but quite small wicks. But we said going to see some upside, but we've just been rejected twice from the 26 moving average. Of course, this candle hasn't closed today, and you have to judge your trading decisions based on the close of these candles, but this is still giving us an indication of where things are headed. So if we drill a bit deeper, move on to the hourly time frame, and we can see right here we are riding multiple moving averages, running the 200, 12, 26 to 50, bounced to 50, but we've broken below a few and closed below a few as well. So it's not looking as strong as BTC, but we can see RSI is relatively flat. Histogram is trending slightly bearish as well. So it looks like Ethereum may be losing a tiny bit of steam on the hourly time frame. Looking at the 4-hour time frame just to see as well what's the story, and we had a bit of a bounce, broke above 250, 100, 12, and 26 moving averages, but couldn't maintain that level, couldn't on the retest, could only bounce off the 100-day. So that's the most significant moving average to kind of pay attention to at the moment. And we've kind of been rejected from the same level twice, which is the high of this candle, which is $468 at the moment. So RSI is trading pretty flat. The signal line looks like it's about to cross over on the MACD for a lagging indicator to bullish, and the histogram looks like it wants to cross over, but it hasn't just yet. So it still looks like it's a bit of a waiting game. If you watched yesterday's video, which I recommend you do, at least for the TA section, we know we have an equilibrium pattern playing out right now, and all we're looking for is to establish a lower high. Okay, so we could have a break to the upside today or tomorrow. Essentially, what we're looking for is a lower high, just to see what kind of range this EQ pattern will be playing out with, and then we can kind of trade that or make decisions based on how it's kind of operating. Moving on to Litecoin, LTC USD. The coin that's lost a place on CoinMarketCap to Stellar, which we will be covering today. LTC is a bit of a similar story, except we quickly return to Ethereum. One moment. Oops, FUSD. Yep. Except it's essentially trading between the 26 moving average and the 12 moving average exponential. These are weighted moving averages, so it basically means the most recent price history is most relevant in regards to finding those levels. So they're actually relatively significant. So right now we actually have an inside bar / Rami candle forming as well. So we have a very tight range for Litecoin today. It's likely to break out this pattern at some point, but unlikely to be relatively significant one way or the other, just because Sundays are generally speaking lower trading volume days, and also Litecoin just hasn't been as volatile compared to earlier on in the year or even last year. So yes, this EQ pattern is playing out. Yes, we have a few things going on right here. For example, we had that trend reversal, and then we have a bit of a bullish trend reversal right here. But the macro patterns kind of really pay attention to is this EQ pattern and this inside bar to see if we're going to break to the upside and form a lower high. So that's what we're looking for. Moving on to Bitcoin Cash, and then we'll go to the few of the coins which will likely be Stellar to begin with. Bitcoin Cash is a slightly different story. Looks like it's trending upwards, although we do see some pressure coming from the bears right here with this gravestone doji, but we're finding support on the 12 and 26 moving average as they've converged right here. Not amazing volume, obviously it is very early, almost 6 a.m. where I am, 4:25 UTC on TradingView, but we can see unlike Ethereum, or let me just quickly check Bitcoin again. Unlike Ethereum, similarly to Bitcoin, it's actually managed to break above. So it's not being rejected from the same level. So it has formed a higher high based on compared to yesterday's candle. So it's slowly trending upwards. There is a sign of some downside, but we haven't really got confirmation for that just yet, and it looks like it's riding on those moving averages. So histogram's trading flat. Generally speaking, in the short term, RSI is facing a bit of resistance, but trending upwards since the bottom of the bounce. A very slow uptrend, slow and steady. So it looks like, again, we have to wait for this EQ pattern to kind of play out. Quickly moving on to the TA section, I'm going to look at the first comment that you guys have asked me to do TA on GVT. GVT, is it on TradingView? Genesis Vision on Binance. Let's take a quick look at Genesis Vision, quickly check in. So just quickly looking at the chart, it looks like it's reached a bit of a range where it's likely to, from a bit of a bottom right here, had a bit of a breakout earlier on in the week, bit of a trend reversal as well, and we can see here we've formed a double top right here. So we can see we've been rejected from this approximately this level, not precisely, but if we just tack it on, is the magnet tool on? Nope, it is. So that's more useful. So we can see we've been rejected from the 14,900 US Satoshi mark, not USD mark. That'd been amazing for this coin. Mark twice. So once, twice, and that's demonstrating that's a significant level. So the key thing to pay attention to, if there's a breakout coming up, that we need to kind of pay attention to this level and make sure you do make at least some of your positions scale out before this level is reached. But just quickly looking at the daily chart, we can see we also have a Harami / inside bar candle that has formed, not has formed because the candle hasn't closed today, but is forming today. It's facing resistance at the 12 moving average exponential at the moment, and yesterday's candle was essentially a trend continuation candle, long upper wick. Despite it being bullish, it is still a trend continuation candle, because in a downtrend, long upper wick despite it being a green candle, it's a bearish trend continuation candle. Essentially, it's showing that the bears have wrestled a bit of control from yesterday's candle. So we had a Maribozu candle the day before. Maribozu candle started to pick up, and then bears kind of wrestled back, control the momentum. But today it looks like the bulls are picking things back up again, but again facing that resistance. So the key thing to watch with GVT is to see if it breaks out of this pattern, because yesterday was an inside bar, today's an inside bar, and it's price compression. So we're kind of waiting to see if we're going to have a break to the upside or downside, depending on how this candle closes today. It's likely not to be too volatile. That being said, if you were looking to make an entry on this coin, potential gains you could make would be around up to 18% before I'd really consider sending off a position. If you were going to make an entry now and put a stop loss below the low of yesterday's candle, because it basically means it breaks out of the inside bar pattern. If it breaks below the low of yesterday's candle, and that's where you could place a stop loss, either there or below the absolute low of this year, which is below 11,200 satoshis, which would probably make, if you're going to make an entry now, be a 9% stop loss, which isn't terrible for crypto space, but it's not ideal. But if you were looking to do that kind of trade, it might be worth paying attention to. That being said, histogram's relatively flat at the moment. RSI is trending upwards since the bounce, but trending downwards since the first rejection. So there's a bit of a mixed bag here. It's not the strongest coin for an entry, but it's not the weakest either. Just quickly checking on some other coins, guys. So we're going to take a look at Stellar Lumens, Stellar. Take a quick look on the old Bitfinex. We'll look at Bitfinex versus the dollar. It's been a while since we looked at dollar pairing, and this is a pretty bullish chart right here. Funnily enough, very healthy bounce of the 12 moving average exponential yesterday. We do have a trend reversal candle right here with a long upper wick, but that being said, we have been moving from overbought territory, so we need some kind of consolidation. We see a bounce here, so we can see some profit taking. So what's likely to happen if we do see some consolidation? Likely to bounce one more off the 12 moving average and then consolidate down and reach a lower high. So likely to be something like a 10% move potentially if you do make an entry. The key thing is to set an alert on the 12 moving average exponential, so it's sent to your phone via email or SMS, so when this coin breaks below this level, so you can be prepared to make an entry. Another coin we're going to take a look at today is Cardano versus USDT. We'll do dollar pairings today because we've already covered dollar pairings on the channel. Next up, Cardano. So Cardano is in a pretty decent position right here. Looks like it's finding support on the 12 moving average, 26 and 50. We can see that we tested the 50 moving average, broke below but closed above yesterday. Maribozu candle sold off. Trend reversal candle, relatively neutral indecision at doji when you got confirmation as Maribozu. The other thing that would have signaled in a neutral / indecision would be that the fact that it was a lower high on this candle, and we can see that the downtrend played out. Now, interestingly enough, it looks like there is still some profit taking, but overall it looks like it's going to start trending upwards because it's finding a decent support or sideways trade, decent support around this level. So one to pay attention to. Next up, we'll do NEO on Binance. NEO versus Tether. And NEO is a bit of a different story. NEO is being rejected from the 50-day moving average and the 12 moving average exponential right here. And the first thing to kind of decide, it looks like NEO might be developing an inverse head and shoulders actually. So we would say the neckline could be here. Very weak head and shoulders actually. That's not a head and shoulders pattern. That is a Adam and Eve bottom, but not at the same level. It's a very ugly one with resistance trending upwards. But that being said, it looks like the minute NEO breaks above the 50-day and closes above the 50-day, basically where seller is, it's likely going to have a bit more freedom, a free reign to kind of start picking up pace again. Just zooming out to look at how NEO's been performing on the weekly time frame to get more of a macro picture, because we've kind of been zoomed in for quite some time. It does seem like NEO's kind of reached a scaling in position based on how it's been trading on Binance previously. It's around the same levels when it first dropped on Binance. So it makes sense that it's likely to be in that kind of position again and start picking up. But again, you have to kind of wait for that trend reversal to kick in. Another coin off the top of my head that people like, EOS. And we'll do Binance coin and then we'll call it until we go to the end of the video. So EOS, it is riding the 50-day moving average right here. This is a pretty bullish chart. It's trading at $8 at the moment. Been rejected from the 26 moving average exponential, which is this blue line right here, and the RSI is being clearly on a downtrend. Histogram looks like it's about to start picking up again, but it's pretty flat. So I wouldn't hold my breath for EOS just yet. And we'll take a look at Binance Coin, because Binance Coin is an that's versus BTC. We'll do Binance versus the dollar versus Tether, actually, not dollar calculated by TradingView. And Binance Coin had a nice rally, just a continuation of an uptrend, and then it's starting to see some sell-off, some consolidation with a strong trend reversal candle today. Very strong, very long upper wick, gravestone, or reversal hammer, but a bearish reversal hammer in a downtrend essentially is a trend continuation candle. So the key thing to watch today with Binance Coin is to see if it's going to find stability or close above the 26 moving average exponential, which is around $11. Okay, so that's for it for the TA section. We'll probably return at the end of the video, but next up, some bullish news for NEO. Okay, so Travala, a project that's launched off the NEO blockchain, essentially a travel booking marketplace which connects consumers and vendors directly together over the platform to discuss their deals with 0% fees or commissions. Their Alpha V2 marketplace has just been released. They have a list of hotels, Marriott, hotels, resorts, Hyatt, Intercontinental, Hilton, lots of various hotels. And what's interesting, guys, it's not the fact that this project has dropped, the Travala project. I think it's ranked 300 odd on CoinMarketCap. Just very quickly checking in, Travala, AVA is the code, the ticker. It's ranked 679th. Okay, it has a 37 million USD trading volume, 3 million market cap. Currently worth 0.0032 NEO and 0.00015505 BTC. The point I'm making here is that this is one of the first projects I've seen in quite some time that actually have partnerships with some significant players that have a product to market, and it's on the NEO blockchain. So this is from a consumer standpoint and from a B2B standpoint as well. So a business to consumer standpoint, because I see Hilton, I see Marriott, I see Sheraton, I see Novotel, a lot of hotels that are pretty premium, and I think this is mostly based in specific regions at the moment, but you can pay in USD, AVA, Euro, AVA, GBP, AVA, Australian dollar versus AVA as well. So you can pay in multi-currency, and again, they have a working website which you can explore and compare the price of these hotels to staying at these hotels compared to Booking.com and other websites, and it's actually cheaper in some instances booking through Travala, because just due to blockchain tech, they're able to save money. And this platform, this digital app is based on the NEO blockchain. So it's interesting to see something like this. I would love to see more products like this on Ethereum that is something that you or I would actually use and see some real world value from. I know this isn't a criticism of Ethereum in any way. This is just me being more optimistic and hoping for Ethereum to kind of have some more real life developments. But it's nice seeing this on the NEO blockchain. So this kind of things you want to pay attention to when you see NEO prices. NEO prices relatively low, basically where it was at the bottom of when it dropped on Binance. But it's important to kind of pay attention to these kind of things. Next up, so this is probably another really bullish piece of news. So yesterday I was dropping bullish news after bullish news after bullish news with regards to Coinbase, regulations, the Coinbase pack or crypto pack, depends on what you want to call it. This is a really bullish piece of news as well for the States again. So we had a regulatory sandbox here in the UK, and it's basically helped develop a stronger relationship between the British government and these crypto-based projects and cryptocurrency in general. And interesting enough, we have the financial regulation in the United States slowly tilting towards blockchain and cryptocurrencies. In the latest development, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has announced they'll be introducing regulatory sandboxes for fintech firms to aid in the development of new products and services. So the great thing about this is they're basically saying, okay, within this framework, you can do whatever you want in the crypto space, provide value to people in the US, and we're going to see how this affects the market and affects the end consumer and the market. And what's likely to happen, guys, and there's two things from this story. One, we're slowly dissolving barriers. We're basically we're on a yes ladder with these with all the hurdles we're facing in the crypto space, just slowly but surely breaking down each resistance. I think Bitcoin futures was probably the first major hurdle that kind of allowed them kind of reconsider and ease off, because what started happening was a lot of people, leaders in traditional finance, started flipping to our side of the fence. So this is a really bullish piece of news long term, guys. I can't stress this enough. Even if the projects are crap, what this will do is demonstrate. I mean, ideally not crap, but even if the projects are in the sandbox aren't great, what it's doing is it's giving them a real world example of what would happen if they did unleash Pandora's box, which is already unleashed when it comes to the crypto space in the States. And with more lax regulations, it basically means more people have access to cryptocurrencies, more people can have access to exchanges all over the world. ICOs can launch in the States, and it means things are a lot easier. It means there'll be some strong competition from crypto companies versus the big dogs like Facebook, Microsoft, maybe Apple, depending on how things go. Etc., IBM, which we really do need. We do need American competition versus American competition, as well as IBM versus Asian crypto projects as well. So because there's a lot of innovation, there's a lot of talent as well in the States as well. If you just look at Silicon Valley, there's a lot of great stuff coming from there, and there's a reason why the top social networks all come from roughly the same place, because it's just a hub of innovation. So that's going to slowly shift, provided we can get this going and have those walls dissolved progressively over time, and they kind of join us on this side of the fence. Be absolutely fantastic. So this is one of the first steps that are actually happening in the States, and it'd be only better it's great news for the cryptocurrency space, great news to see what projects are going to be coming from the States, but actually just for potential value to be offered to the world, which ultimately is what we want to focus on long term for us to be successful in this space. Purely as investors, this is a massive market that has a lot to offer, so it's really good news. Next up, talking about regulations. Interesting, just very quickly, very interesting thing. So just due to US sanctions in Iran, this chap could only pay for his hotel, just a regular hotel. It's weird that we're talking about hotels from from different aspects in the crypto space. He could only pay for his hotel in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Bitcoin Cash because of the sanction in the States. He couldn't use fiat, so he couldn't spend the dollar, which is weird, in Iran, which is very, very, very odd. So this chap was just talking about it, and that's the only way he could make a deposit for his hotel room. So it's very interesting, and that's probably going to change in the future. But this demonstrates that cryptocurrencies today have a usefulness and actual applicability in a day-to-day life. Even now, even if these sanctions disappear, there's going to be a role for cryptocurrencies. So it's just nice seeing someone actually using crypto for a real world situation. Next up, we're going to head to the comment section. So Esteban says, "Bam, thumbs up and a heart, good sir." James, your live streams are fantastic, says Sarabel. If you have the time, more lives would be great. TA on GVT, please. I think I've done the TA on GVT. So just a quick announcement before I move on. I am doing a massive overhaul of the channel from a graphical standpoint, from an idea standpoint of the type of content archetypes I'd like to provide. Live streams are going to be coming more often, just because I'd probably like to do a live version of the Crypto News show. And I've been kind of working out how's the best way to do that. And it's essentially, I'd like to get people on to do interviews. I'm just thinking about how to visually present things. So I'm going to upgrade everything. Audio is a bit of an issue because essentially the way my room is, I need the stuff on the walls, the sound things, to kind of stop the echo with the mic. But I've kind of cleared up this mic to be as good as possible. We'll see. But yeah, lots of good things on the way, guys. Next up, Nicholas Bryan says, "I really like the ZEC for privacy. They have a great team, hard wallet support, and constant innovating. The ASIC mining aspect is of some concern, though, not enough to shake the fundamentals." I agree with that. I completely agree with that last sentence. NANO is great as well, though lack hard wallets and has some more attention from regulators. Zcash is doing a good job lobbying those in the space and within government, defending the need for a privacy coin which only further legitimizes itself as a market leader. Just my 2 cents, though. I like to get some Monero. if I had an easy to use Ledger or Trezor integration. I actually completely agree with that whole paragraph. It's annoying. Monero is a bit annoying in that standpoint. From that standpoint, I do think Zcash is really killing it. It's just Monero is just my number one. That's preference. Zcash is my number two. I think Dash is probably. I mean, what else is there really? Dash. That's pretty much it. Enigma, but it's like private smart contracts. Todd Myers says, "Great job. You seem to be pretty tired. Take care of yourself." I am really tired, but at the same time, it's really hot in London at the moment. Can't really sleep. I just want to work and focus on the channel, and just kind of just crush this channel as much as possible in a good way. I mean, like crush all the work I need to do for this channel, and then because it's things that I can do, and once they're done, and I can just kind of relax. Jeremy Dana says, "I never feel like you should anything. You just say what you feel. Are good products. Nothing wrong with that. I also like ICX, but it's definitely my heaviest bag. My heaviest bag too, good sir." And again, it's just most ridiculous partnerships with ICX. I'll probably need to do a check-in video at some point, but yeah, I'm extremely bullish on that coin still to this day. Coughing into both your hands, yum. I don't know. I was probably coughing quite significantly in the last video. Apologies. Technical analysis good. News coverage good. Reflection on meaning of news good. Accents and audio quality exhausting. Please try to enunciate all of the consonants. Sorry for pointing this out, but I've been listening for months, and today I just couldn't make it through the whole video. Don't worry about it. Glenn warns, I do have a mixed London accent, so I shall try to speak as clearly as possible. Moving on. Is there any point in holding a privacy coin on Coinbase? Coinbase is a verified identity exchange. Sending or receiving privacy coins on Coinbase isn't private, is it? I completely agree with you, good sir. That was my point in the last video. They have some form of identification. They can see where the coin is going, I'm presuming. So they have at least half of an idea of what's going on. If on the other receiving end is to another exchange that's tied to another identity, and that's to someone that's receiving it, then it's likely to cause some not likely to, but possible to be tracked, in some form, some way or another. And just with regards to digital forensics, it will get more sophisticated in the future and target this space. Just digital forensic analysis is only going to get better as the space gets more popular as well. James, can you possibly do TA on Ethos and Nano, please? Thank you. No worries. Ethos is BQX. BQX. BitQuence, I believe. But I'll type in Ethos just to triple check. Ethos. So, we were talking about this level, BitQuence. Let's quickly check if it's traded on the other exchanges. No, it's not. Okay, just very quickly, we're talking about this level last time in the video. We're talking about how we need to hold the 27,500 USD level. We haven't. We've broken below, broke above, closed below, sorry, broke above, rejected, lots of profit taking. And it's actually following quite a typical pattern you'd expect to see on a chart, actually, from a coin reaching a pretty significant high. If we look at quite a similar corrective phase to most coins that reach an all-time high. I'm not saying it has reached an all-time high, that's just a general pattern I'm seeing. But right now, it's just continuing to see a bit of a set-off. So I'd be waiting with this coin, and it's not like it has crap volume. It actually has decent volume today, which is very odd considering generally it might just be a very low traded coin, or this is actually a lot of people looking to sell, and it's only around 6 AM at the moment. So I shall really try to enunciate completely and fully. I think I speak better than a lot of people that I meet in London, to be fair. Okay, next up, Nano as well. Binance. Nano versus BTC. Not looking ideal. It's looking pretty poor, actually. So, yeah, okay. So, quickly checking out Nano versus BTC. It's dropped to 3,217 USD. I'm on the weekly charts. Okay, I need to look at the daily. I'm going to do BQX on the daily again. Apologies. But Nano hasn't looked like it's finished dropping below its absolute low. So, okay, so we can see similar story with BQX at the moment. It's it's selling off quite significantly. Again, trend continuation candle on yesterday's candle. It looks like we're getting confirmation for that on today's candle. So I wouldn't hold my breath for this one. I'd still wait before if you're looking for any significant upside. But it looks like it's moving into oversold territory relatively soon, so we're likely to see a bounce. Next up, Nano. I think I looked at those coins earlier in the weekly chart, which is fine. Nano, again, same story, just broken below a significant level where we were sideways trading. So it looks like we're going to see further downside first, and then possibly even move into oversold territory, and then see a tiny bit of upside. But again, nothing too significant at the moment. It's just continuing to downtrend and sideways trading for quite some time, and this was the level to watch, 3,600 USD, sorry, Satoshis, but because that would basically indicate whether this be strong support and we start seeing things pick up, or we start seeing a sell-off. And it's odd seeing that Nano didn't perform well when Bitcoin was sideways trading or rallying. It shows a bit of weakness versus Bitcoin. Very lastly, last comment in the video. I saw that a lot of exchanges and pools are supporting Monero V. Can you make a video about it? I think I've had offhand comments on Monero V. And the reason why Monero V is, let's just quickly, XMV, not here. Okay, so just very quickly talking about Monero V. Monero V is a fork of Monero, basically designed to be a mineable version of Monero because they changed their code, right? So usually when there's a fork of a coin that's looking to change its code to be ASIC resistant, it has some kind of ties to a specific exchange. So what they're doing ultimately is printing money, some form of money. Now, the value that's actually in the coin is based upon how many people are willing to purchase it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when it comes to forks of cryptocurrencies, that actually provides some kind of value. Because Monero V, as far as I remember when I checked it out on the channel, it didn't have anything crazily significant or different to the original Monero. And the true talent with the Monero coin is with the Monero team and their developers and their vision and their ethics and approach to the need for privacy coins in the crypto space, so, and for the world. So I do think that's hard. I think there are about 3 or 4 hard forks of Monero around the time when they changed their code to be ASIC resistant. Now, it might not have been the best decision by the Monero team, but I do think that it was necessary, just because when it came to centralization, it is a concern when it comes to privacy coins. Because if Bitmain, for example, had the majority of the hash rate from Monero, they could essentially perform some kind of nefarious or malicious, not attack, but have some kind of effect on Monero and essentially render it relatively redundant, removing the privacy element if they wanted to, which is it's a possibility, highly unlikely, I think, because I don't think Bitmain has that intent, because it's basically long-term counter their own interests, but it's something that's possible, and it only takes one bad actor to do so. So Monero V, I'm not a massive fan of, but what I will do before I release the next crypto news video is, after this video, I'll do a quick overview and see what new things are happening, and see if it really is worth or standing out versus the original Monero XMV. So not XMV, XMR. So thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. Massively appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And if you want me to do any types of videos, do leave a comment in the description box below, because what I'm going to be doing after I've done the graphical overhaul of the channel, I shall be focusing on content, just 100% content. I want to provide as much value to you guys as possible. Thank you so much. And if I've forgotten anything else, that's pretty much it. Of course, if you want to learn technical analysis, we have a TA course. Link is in the description box below, or there should be something popping up on the screen now. That's essentially a course made for you guys by me. It's a TA. So it's been beneficial to a lot of people that have taken the course. I think it's reasonably priced and helps keep the channel going. So thank you so much. Hope you have an amazing day, and I shall catch you very, very soon in the next video. Wishing you guys all the best.